Hey guys, welcome back. Orabomb here, bringing you another one of our live deck matches. Now today we're playing a deck that I feel like a lot of people are undervaluing, even though it has so much strong potential. Even in Japan right now, these decks have been making higher placements than even baby Blacephalon. And that is going to be Blacephalon GX, not gonna just like we're used to. But this time versus actually the brand new Greninja. This is a dark type Greninja that has that attack that for DCE lets you knock out the Pokemon with the lowest HP remaining on the board, as well as being able to use cards like Greninja GX, which, let's keep in mind, is a water type attacker, which are more than beloved right now in this current meta. So before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. Answer the comment question today being, which one do you like more, Blacephalon, maybe Blacephalon or Blacephalon GX? I know that we've discussed this before, but now that, I don't know, maybe some people have tested out these decks, watched more videos with these decks, and the hype has kind of died down a little bit for baby Blacephalon. Because baby Blacephalon was like the big hotness until people started to realize that like early disruption and sometimes late game it doesn't really do as well. Especially versus cards like Gardevoir. But at the same time, it has such strong blow up potential being incredibly non-GX deck. Well, this has a lot of board presence, which is really necessary in this format, where like even if you do get hand disrupted somehow, you still have access to your board that should usually be powerful enough to sustain you. But my opponent's going through the motions, setting up the Froakies. We got Tapu Koko because we just want to like put our opponent's Pokemon to have lower HP than we do, while also being able to control which Pokemon has the lowest HP using the abilities of our Frogadiers and the Greninja GXs and stuff like that. And I'm not getting a phone call. Of course, I'm getting a phone call as soon as I start recording. Let's see. Oh, it's fine. It'll go away eventually. But Greninja, I think this Greninja, at first I kind of wrote it off as like a whatever deck, but oh, by the way, this Blacephalon GX, there's not too much different about it. In fact, I kind of take my regular list and all I did was take out the Grimer, the Alolan Muck, because I feel like there's a lot less need. I need to really answer that. Oh, my phone's all the way over there. Not answer it, but like, there we go. All right, anyways, back to what I was saying. I took out the Alolan Muck line and put in a Salazzle line instead. The new Salazzle lets you discard your Fire Energy and draw 3. So there's a lot of synergy with the deck, as you can tell. Discarding energies means you can put them in a board with Naganadel, while drawing more cards is what you really need, especially in a deck like this that really needs to hit their B-strings. So there's a lot of synergy. But one big thing I want to talk about is, how do you guys feel? How did you guys feel about a booster box giveaway thanks to our lovely sponsors at Guardian Gaming? Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I'll probably be doing a video about that soon in the future. But if I can convince them using my powerful negotiation skills, aka asking them a question, I might be able to get you guys a booster box. What do you guys think? Hopefully we can get a few, but we'll see what happens. But as you can see, Frogadier is just lowering the HP number. Even the cool thing is he can also just take knockouts like that. Like a flying flip took a knockout on our Salandit. So he's really good at just like getting rid of these low HP Pokemon while he can. So obviously me losing Salazzle kind of sucks, as that's like less potential for me to draw on the board. Also, we're also weak to water. So getting the GXs could also be a problem, but we're only playing out one of Aqua Batch in this deck. It's not like we're not super focused on the Greninja GX. We could focus a little bit more on it, but just like the non-GX Greninja is so strong because you don't need Guzmas. You can knock out whatever's on the board as long as you can manipulate damage. And having these evolution snipes, you have so many options with this Greninja GX deck too. I guess we'll talk about more in the deck profile, which will go up soon. But like the evolution spray Z is a thing you have. Not to mention just attacking and shuffling yourself back in to be reused later. We're gonna use Guzma and retreat. And just knock out one of these Greninjas with the water energy. I just want to avoid any Greninja GXs from showing up and blowing me up. I know this deck only doesn't have room for a lot of Aqua Patches, so I'm assuming there's less to worry about. But a lot of ball search in this deck, a lot of timer balls, ultra balls, nest balls, things like that, because you want to just spam your evolutions to get the right cards at the right time. But is there anything else I really need to talk about? Oh yeah. So this build right here that I'm playing, I'm not going to profile it. Just look at my old Blacephalon list, replace the one of Alolan Grimer and the one of Alolan Muck and one other card. I think it was just in random. I think it was my Erica that I played in this deck. I was playing one Erica. Replace those 3 with a 1 of Salandit and 2 Salazzles. The Psychic Salandit, to be specific, because it is searchable with Mysterious Treasure, since this deck does play for Mysterious Treasure. Not to mention, this deck is another one of those decks that are worth keeping for post-rotation as well. Sure, you lose Ultra Ball, but you keep Mysterious Treasure and Ultra Space, which is your ball search of choice. I did lose the Ditto there, so in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have benched that Ditto since it was so easy to knock out. But, you know, hindsight's... Oh, no, I did it on purpose. I remember I was like, if I bait the Ditto knockout, I can use my B-String. Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm a genius. I completely forgot I did this. But, yeah, I was trying to bait the Ditto knockout here. Just so I could use my B-String immediately. Knock out this Coco. And just try to get more B-Strings. Unfortunately, we don't have Salazzle to help us get B-Strings on the board. But you know, maybe we can find some more. So far that is a no-go, but we could get Marshadow. We still play the Marshadow in the deck. We can get a Salandit down. Ideally, he doesn't evolve to 2 Greninjas and knocks it out, but it's a definite possibility for sure. There's a Poipole. Just trying to set up my board again. We had a really bad early game setup this game. So yeah, so this build plays a Salazzle. I am also working on a build that I really like that just plays like 3 or 4 welders. I'm trying out with 3 first, but we'll see. That one I'm actually going to sit down and work on. If you guys know, Blacephalon GX is one of my favorite decks to play. It's my favorite aggressive deck to play. I haven't really enjoyed playing aggressive decks like this in a long time. But we are going to knock out that Coco. Flying Flip is a problem, so we got to get rid of it. And now here comes the big boy threat. If she finds Greninja GX, then there it is. This is gonna be an issue. Let's see if she can also find another. By the way, this is Tony. It's a he. Shout out to Tony, by the way. The self-proclaimed #1 Orabomb fan. Likes, comments, all my videos. Appreciate you. He's gonna take a knockout and shove himself back in the deck. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use B-String anymore. But there's a Salazzle there. We have Energy Switch, which means we can still have a potential to attack here, which is great. We just gotta find a manual attachment and just take a knockout. If I can knock out a Frogadier, that'd be pretty good too. But he's really close to winning the game here. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I hope I didn't upload these out of order. We'll find out, I guess. Manual attachment, which is great. And then Roast Reveal, discard a Fire Energy, draw 3. Ultra Space, get another knock in Adele. And that right there is already 4 energies on the board. Roast Reveal, even using it that one turn is just so nice. It's all this extra draw in the deck. Imagine having 2 Roast Reveals and like Heat Factory plus 9 cards. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to make this work in a deck that so like I'm just working on the welder deck right now. This one was fairly simple. Just replace the Alolan Muckline and just do that. No Marshadow for me from the looks of it. Just gonna take a Naga here, get rid of those that are on the Naga, keep the 2 energies on my Blacephalon GX. If he does get the dark type Blacephalon, very unlikely that I'll be able to take a knockout on my active. But if he just gets 2 attacks off with his dark type Greninjas, then he just wins, right? His lowest HP Pokemon on the board are on my side of the board thanks to him spreading damage. And the cool thing about the Dark type Greninja is that he gets to choose which Pokemon to knock out, and it can never knock out himself. So there's a lot of benefits. It's pretty strong. I didn't think it was gonna be as strong as it was, but just like I don't know, I really like this list. At first I just kind of threw it together and like hoped that it'll work, and it surprised me. It surprised me a bit. So, but anyways, I'm trying to think of I'm just fanboying here because like these are the decks I wanted to play for a long time. And by the way, this is the first games that are on the brand new phone. What do you guys think? I actually really like the quality of it. And then tomorrow's deck profile, which we're not doing a deck profile of Blacephalon. I've said that like a million times, but no deck profile of Blacephalon. It's gonna be just over the Greninja, and then we'll try to get another game out for you guys. I'm trying to get Pikarom with the Dene and like Pika pads what's his name? Mahone plays. I really like the order pads. You guys know I'm an order pad enthusiast and apologist. So so I will play order pads in anything. I love playing that card. And let's see. Can we win? We need to take... it's kind of hard to win. Oh, actually, it's really easy for us to win now. As long as we can knock out this Frogadier, which we guarantee do, we should be 100% fine every time. Oh, and he chooses just retreating. Okay, so our game plan is to just find Guzma. Like, this Frogadier is a huge threat to us because it can become a Greninja, and we don't want that. So all we're trying to do here is just get the... So we got 3 Nagas down and a Roast Reveal. So even though we had a really rough start, we were able to pull that back. And thanks to Guzma being as amazing as it is, we were able to just take a knockout here from the looks of it. I don't think there's any more fire type energies. We can Marshadow, I guess, just to try to get more energies. Oh, my camera's moving. Ooh, that's awkward. Must have been the weight. I know my phone is super heavy now. We're just going to take a knockout here and just try our best to take a knockout next turn as well. We have access to Marshadow, draw supporters. All we need to do is find essentially a manual attachment. I don't think we've used Beast Energy yet either, so Beast Energy wins the game. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to fix some things, but this is my first game, so I hope you guys enjoy it. First game with a new camera. I still have, I don't know, I need to get like, not new camera, new phone. I need to get a new actual camera that's like this quality though, so I don't have to worry about my phone. Just because, like, you know, phone has very limited battery. Obviously, I haven't recorded these at home in a long time. Look at that, that's so weird. I don't like any of this. It's like super trippy when the camera moves. Energy Lotto. Also, we play that Larvitar. It's mainly for Pikarom. Pikarom is just a huge threat. It says you're able to put a lot of damage counters on your opponent's side of the board. Being able to attack with Larvitar to take like 3 prize knockouts on Pikaroms who generally have a lot of HP is going to be pretty good. So like, why is it doing this? How is it doing this? That's my real question. Is the camera moving? Like, that's so weird. I'm gonna have to look at that later. All right, so it's kind of cool, right? So you have the water typing that helps you deal with Charizard deck list, the non-GX ability of this deck that helps you deal with things like Baby Blacephalon and whatnot. You have that small Larvitar that can, maybe you can play a second one that helps you deal with Zoroark and helps you deal with Pikarom, and overall spread that helps you deal with just lower HP archetypes or just really anything. Like, I feel like there's a lot of versatility in this Greninja deck list, and you guys know how much I love versatile decks, so this is really cool for me. Pokegear here, finding nothing from the looks of it. I guess you're just trying to thin as much as you can, but I win with the simple manual attachment here. So, we also need one more in the discard pile just to make sure we had 3 energies. We either find Beast Energy or we get 3 energies, 1 in the discard pile, 1 for manual attachment. So just 2, I guess. So we're just trying to thin the deck as much as we can. So we're Ultra Balling here, failing it. We're going to Ultra Ball again to get the Marsh Shadow. That's because we know we have a second one in the deck, right? So, and we're going to keep the Cynthia because if we Marsh Shadow and fail off the Marsh Shadow, we at least have an extra draw supporter we can use since we haven't used a draw supporter this turn yet. Since we only have bench space for 1 Marsh Shadow, there's no reason to keep 2. So yeah, all we're trying to do is find a fire energy, and there it is. We found the fire energy, and that's game 1. So game 1, relatively quick. Let's move on to game 2 here. But yeah, I just really like the added consistency of Salazzle. The problem is that I don't know. My mind is always talking. My mind is always on like next rotation, and we don't have the Psychic Salazzle next rotation. I can actually double check, but I'm pretty sure the only Salazzle we're gonna have are Fire type Salazzles, Salandits, I should say, not Salazzles. That are a little bit harder to find because we don't have Ultra Ball anymore. So unless we have a new Ball Search card, like unless we get like a reprint of Nest Ball or some new Ultra Ball or something like that, we won't be able to search for those Salandits. We can search for any of our Ultra Beasts thanks to Ultra Space, and Mysterious Treasure gets us our Poipos and stuff like that, but I can't wait to like experiment with a post-rotation build of Blacephalon because like, what do you play? You play like 4 Ultra Beasts, 4 Ultra Space, 1 Heat Factory, and like 1 or 2 of that Heat Furnace that comes out the set after this one. so you can use Welder more and draw more. Or do you, and like you don't play, there's no more Marsh Shadow, right? So do you play, do you try to squeeze in the Salazzle? Or do you play like more supporters and Pokegears and stuff like that? Maybe even order pads, you know? Judge whistles. That's a big one. So, here's a conversation topic when my opponent's kind of like going through the motions. I know some people don't like that I don't talk about the game directly, but because like the game's in front of you, and unless something interesting happens that you need me to explain for, I kind of feel like it's more entertaining. Actually, this is a really good question for you guys. I have a lot of questions today. I feel like it's more entertaining for you to like listen to my thoughts about the decks as opposed to just me being like, okay, so as you can see, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing this. So I'm essentially just helping blind people understand the game, which is, I mean, that's fine. If you're a blind person and you want me to do that, I apologize. I'll do it. I'll make videos specifically for you. Terminal Lily, always really, really nice. But because my head's in like post rotation, right? And like, I don't know. Oh yeah, here's the other question I was going to ask earlier. So recently I found out that, I don't know if you guys can look this up later, but I was trying to think of like cards that currently have secret rares, because you guys know I'm like a max rarity collector. Although I did just sell literally all of my cards that are max rarity except for the ones I'm using in my decks or could use in my decks. So I had to make money. I had to pay off this debt somehow, right? So Bursting Bird, excuse me. just to put some damage on it. I mean, I don't think it matters too much because she's going to evolve, but what else can we do? We could always GX, but I don't really feel like there's a reason to GX right now. But I was thinking about cards, and what came to mind was Custom Catcher. If you guys don't know what it does, it's like play 1, draw until you have 3, or play 2 at the same time, just like puzzle time kind of effects. And you can pull up a Pokemon from your opponent's bench so they're active. So outside of like, I don't think Counter Catcher rotates. So I don't think we have a Guzma type effect post rotation. So that would be pretty much the only one we have. And it's an item card and it's searchable with Green Search. So Green Search could essentially be a Guzma. So I was like, oh snap, how much are these going to cost? Because that sounds like a really good idea for anyone that's playing a Green Search deck. And turns out that they went up in price. They were 15-ish, 20-ish dollar cards beforehand, probably even less, honestly. And some people have found them for like $8. They were 60 when I looked. I tried to find as many as I could while I could. And I found a few and I bought them just to make sure I can sell them back at some point. Or keep them. I don't know. It depends how I feel. Oh, we had a Salandit and Dragon Majesty and Ultra Prism. We had a Salandit and Dragon Majesty. Why is this artwork amazing? We had Salandits and Dragon Majesty. It's 60 HP, which isn't that great. I know the newest one has 70 HP, but it does have Call for Family, which is you search for a basic Pokemon put onto your bench. It's not bad. It's not bad. We have the 70 HP one currently in Ultra Prism. The newest one has that weird attack that affects Grass-type Pokemon, so I don't think that's super great. But Crimson Invasion is the one this Salandit came from, which I really did not think Crimson Invasion was going to rotate. I hope we get a we have an SN promo. It's also 60 HP though. So the Dragon Majesty one looks like the best one. It's just for like its attack. Call for Family is never bad. You can always just get down another one. But the 70 HP one's pretty good as well, just because it's 70 HP, you know. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll try to find like a reverse set of Salandits as well, because I don't know how good Salandit's going to be. Salazzle's going to be, because once again, it's just not super searchable. So outside of like, what's it called? What's that supporter called? The family one that lets you get like 2 basic Pokemon from your deck. I don't have like my play binder on me. I don't know. Like family search card lets you get any 2 basics out of your deck and put them into your hand. There's that. There's that supporter, but that's still supported. You know, you don't really want to play that card. Greninja here. Let's see. Now, do keep in mind if you guys notice that Tony's like playing weird, I just kind of literally told Tony, "Hey, wake up, let's play. Here's a deck." So if he's playing inoptimally, I mean, I'm assuming like this Greninja deck, because you have to be super meticulous about where you're putting these damage counters and how you're just focusing on spraying the damage output. It's not exactly easy. So if he makes a misplay, just forgive him. Don't worry about it. He's doing pretty well right now, though. He has a lot of damage on that Naganadel, trying to get rid of it. He never really, and one thing that I noticed with Tony, and one thing I kind of agree with Tony, is that he never really cares about damaging the Blacephalon, because he knows he can OHKO it with Greninja GX. He's more interested in knocking out the Nagas and my engines on the back. So I feel like it's a really smart play on my opponent's part. So there's a Greninja. He can retreat if he gets a DCE. I want to knock out that Greninja before it becomes a problem. And here you can just knock out my Naganadel. Yeah. Of course, that's one of those things where like he didn't even need to put the damage counters there if he realized that he was going to attack with that Greninja. But you can never tell, man. Sometimes you just draw cards and you're just like, well, this is the combination I have in my hand now, so I might as well make the most out of it. But back to what I was saying earlier about like cards that are really good post rotation. So I know not a lot of people are talking about this, but like I feel like since decks are going to be so inherently inconsistent without like, as far as like finding the Pokemon you need, maybe Judge's Whistle like goes up in price, because Judge's Whistle just essentially is a -4 in decks, since there's no real punishment for playing items, except I guess there's always like random item lock, but you can always play around item lock. It's not a big deal. But yeah, like maybe Judge's Whistle, Acrobikes, those are cards that might go up in price because they're just really easy ways to dig through your deck without having to. Like especially Judge's Whistle, you don't have to sacrifice anything and you get to reuse Judge, which is, we don't get Marshout anymore. No more Litlus, so Judge is like our only disruption card until we get that stamp the set after next. Just getting this thing down, so if I need to B-string immediately, I can. Definitely not bad. Oh, not to mention, we still have Greninja's GX attack in this deck, something to keep in mind as well. Take a knockout here thanks to our Beast Energy. So here's the Lotto, here's the big fear. If he takes a knockout, I get to use B-string, so I don't really care too much. I just have to find the B-string. I think there's one in my hand right now, so ideally, right, I can find a bunch of B-strings. I think I have the Salazzle in my hand. He does have the ability to take a knockout here. I don't know if he benched the Ditto or if he. I don't remember if he benched both Froakie and Ditto last turn, but if he did, he could evolve them both into Frogadiers and knock out my Salandit, knock out my active Salazzle, and then stop me from being able to use B-string, as well as stop me from being able to draw as much too. He did find the DCE, so he's gonna be able to take a knockout here as well as shuffle himself back. So there's that benefit as well. He gets to shuffle himself back, meaning that he doesn't have to worry about me taking any crazy revenge knockouts. But at the same time, he's gonna lose a lot of Pokemon, so there's that. So we'll see if he decides to shuffle himself back. He's gonna take his 2 prizes. I guess he chooses not to. I guess he just feels like I won't find B-strings, which is kind of silly. I don't think he should have made that play. But he also didn't want to lose both of his frogs, so I can kind of understand it at the same time. There's a Salazzle. Let's go ahead and start drawing Lily for 5 first before we draw, and there's a bunch of fire. Can we find another B-string? We can Ultra Ball first to thin. Maybe grab a Marshadow just to keep drawing after this. I'm not too sure. Yeah, there's a Marshadow. Question is, do we use our ability first and then Marshadow, or do we? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna Marshadow first and then use our ability. Hopefully we draw into a fire energy though. We did just lose a bunch of fire, so that's pretty risky because I could also risk drawing fire altogether. So maybe in hindsight, I drew fire, so I got lucky there, to be honest. Did I find another B-string? But after all that digging, we still whiffed B-string. So I can definitely seek things like Order Pad going to decks like Blacephalon. Just for this exact reason, man. You don't want to whiff B-strings. B-strings are pretty big as far as like guaranteeing the right turns. Because we're not even taking a knockout here, and he can literally just shuffle himself back. So there's no point in me losing energies on the board or even attempting to take a knockout since we only hit 200. We would be short. So I'm not even going to bother attacking. Just going to try my best to stop my opponent from taking a knock on my Blacephalon. Honestly, if they hit the coin flip, that's probably just GG for me because I whiff super hard. But if they don't whiff the coin, if they get tails and damage themselves, that's really good for me because I think I just attack and can potentially win the game. We'll have to see here. Nothing here is in range of like too many drops, you know what I mean? So nothing's gonna be knocked out immediately. There's an Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Pokegear and a Lily. It might be Marshadow time from the looks of it. Yep, definitely grabbing Marshadow and using it. All right, cool. So if he whiffs a knockout here, I get to use B-string again. So he needs to take a knockout here. The problem is he has no way to take a knockout here unless he either finds... I don't think he plays Switch, but he could Guzma. He could GX attack and knock out the Naga on my bench if he like switches, and he's just gonna switch evolution. It's not a big deal. If he switches and like no, he can't Guzma. No, he can't Guzma. He hasn't played a draw sport yet. If he Guzma's up like, I don't know, like something with 2 retreat costs, maybe that's Salandit. I'm pretty sure Salazzle only has 1 retreat cost, but he could knock out the Salazzle. He could Guzma up the Salazzle and like GX the Naganadel on my bench, taking a knockout on the Naganadel with the Greninja GX attack, or Hay Slash and just put himself back in the deck to avoid 2 prizes. Let's see what happens here. So there's a flip, unfortunately damaging himself. So let's see what happens. Can we still win this game? He did get a Frogadier down, so he could essentially get another Greninja. We did luckily get ourselves a B-string. So now we're going to be able to take a knockout here. Not like we weren't able to before thanks to the confusion damage, but my opponent risked the confusion and unfortunately did not work out for them. No Guzma meant there was no guarantee in attacking, and now we don't have to get rid of nearly... I don't know if the choice band actually helps anything. 230 HP means that... Oh yeah, no, it does help, right? No, it does. Yeah, it does help, I think. Am I wrong? They only have 170 HP left, so yeah, it does. We only have to get rid of 3 energies now. Say at 180. Maybe I uploaded these. Okay, this might have been uploaded in the wrong order because I'm pretty sure one of them... Did I win this game? I hope I didn't win this game. I hope I lost this game. I guess we'll find out here. Because I know that it was a best of 3 because he definitely won one. But I know we had a bunch of recordings that failed because I was trying to work out the new camera. And in a lot of those games he won, but a lot of those were wins off camera. So, I don't remember. Regardless, if he loses this game, spoiler alert, he'll probably win the next one. Just because it should be a best of 3. Greninja, if he finds Greninja, he can still win, right? I mean, I'd have to, no, there's no way for me to win. No, I mean, there is a way, but if my opponent finds Frogadier Greninja here, that'd be pretty sick. Okay, maybe he does win. I don't remember. I literally don't remember. I love like commentating these games because it's like I have really piss poor memory when I record these because I'm so tired when I record these. Unfortunately, there's no Frogadiers though, which means that it's hard for my opponent to really get any turn to. Oh, actually, Guzma Frogadier attack knocks out my Salazzle. So he's figuring out where to put the 3 damage counters. Honestly, I think I put them on Salazzle, right? Although I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess he forgot to put the damage counter somewhere. Maybe we'll talk about it in a second. It doesn't really matter though, because if he finds a Frogadier Water Energy Guzma, he knocks out the Salandit with Water Drip. Let's see what happens. I can hit 80 and knock out literally anything. But he wins the game if he knocks out that Salandit. So let's see if he can do it. I love me some Water Drip. If he put 3 damage counters on the board, it would either be on the Salandit or one of the Nagas. I don't think it matters too much because... I guess we'll find out if it matters, but I don't remember it mattering. There's no B-string plays. We're just going to go ahead and take a knockout here. We still have Energy Switch that we can use. So let's see what happens. Does he have the Guzma in hand? If he finds the Guzma, he gets this. Let's find, see if he has Frogadier. All he needs to do is find he has the Water Energy. He's probably going to find the Frogadier here. He literally only needs to get himself a Guzma. I think he has a Pokegear in hand, so if Pokegear finds him Guzma, he wins the game. And if I remember correctly, he gets it but doesn't realize he wins, and then I have to tell him that he wins the game. I remember. Like I said, we played this very, very tired. So he's putting it on the thing. Yeah, I told him. If I remember correctly, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we were just discussing like where the math would make sense. Coco, does he find Guzma here? Yes, he does. He finds 2. If it isn't screaming at his face, let's see. And yeah, there it is. So I told him all he needs here is a Water Energy and he wins the game. Otherwise, I win. And does he have the Water Energy? He plays another Pokegear. Like I said, I told you guys, he doesn't realize he wins the game yet. And hopefully he doesn't find another supporter because he'll just throw the game away. He'll dumpster, toss it, trash this game. He did whiff the supporter, which is a blessing in disguise, people. You can see me like shaking all nervous on the left, just like, oh no, 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 no. I want this game. I want it. I want it. All right, Tony. Because I don't know what's in his hand, but we're discussing like plays that would work. And oh yeah, this is it. This is it. This is what I was talking about. Watch this. Watch this. Guzma. And I see his entire hand, the Guzma and the Water Energy, and I yell at him. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? You just win. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah, there's my hands. There are my hands going. Just like there, see, just attack. He hits it for 40 thanks to Water Drip and weakness. That's exactly enough for a knockout. So Salazzle with its only 100 HP goes down and I lose the game to something that I should have won, but you know, we'll be nice. And we'll move on to a game 3. Man, all right, well. Sometimes weakness just isn't enough, even when weakness only hits you for 40. Yeah, all right. So I'm just shuffling here because I forgot I didn't shuffle yet. But it's fine. We'll make it work. I really like the quality of this with the new camera. I just think it's weird that the camera moves. Like, look at that. How awkward is that? It shouldn't move like this. Like, it almost looks like I put in a movement filter. I don't like it. Maybe there's like something on my camera that does it. I have to look at the settings of my camera because that doesn't make any sense to me. Especially like how how it moves, like it feels super like, it feels like I did it on purpose kind of thing, you know? It feels really manufactured. That's the word I was looking for. Let's see. High efficiency video. Records videos in HEVC format to save space. They may not be able to play HEVC video on other devices or share them online. HDR plus 10. Optimize the contrast and color in each scene by recording in HDR. Smart devices needed to play HDR 10 plus videos correctly. I don't know. I don't think I should do any of that. I don't know if any of that stuff works on YouTube. Because you guys love tracking autofocus. Keep the camera focused on the selected subject even if they move. That's probably, I mean, that's off right now, but maybe I should do that. I don't know. Video stabilization, is that what this is? It might be video stabilization. Ooh, let's turn the grid lines on so I can, let's try square. With the grid lines on, I could try to keep everything centered in future videos. Tracking autofocus. I could try to do that. I don't know. There's a lot of different things on this camera. I'm gonna have to play around with like what we can do. Camera modes. That's interesting. Now we'll try this for the future. But I'm super down to like continue to learn and explore. But let's see what we can do here. So Cynthia, unfortunately with all those cards, I still didn't have much to do. No Blacephalon means no manual attachment. There's really no point ever attaching energy unless one, it's the end of your turn and you need to attach just for retreating purposes, or two, you're attaching it to a Blacephalon. Like, otherwise there's no point in attaching. You could always attach to a Naga if you're looking to like, if you're looking to, what's it called? Attack with Naganadel, like low HP Pokemon and Psychic weak Pokemon, things like that. But something to keep in mind here, I'm not too sure how good Choice Band is going to be in Blacephalon anymore. I guess it is pretty helpful versus Pikarom. I mean, not Pikarom, it's useless versus Pikarom. But it could be pretty helpful versus decks like Reshizard, because it's 270 HP, meaning you now have to hit 250 and then 280 with Choice Band. And that's a lot of energies, keep in mind. But it is against tag teams. That's the cool thing about Blacephalon, as always. Being a regular GX Pokemon that can OHKO tag teams with pretty much ease after the first knockout is really good. And Pikarom being the only deck that gives you real big problems, because sometimes they can play you out of B-String turns if they play like really, really well. But sometimes it takes an extra turn to set up the whole like tag team Tag Bolt GX into outside of B-String turns, because you'd have to like weaken a Blacephalon unless your opponent is playing Lele, then it's easy pickings, right? But like sometimes they just have to attack you with Zapdos and just weaken you, and then Guzma and then GX the fresh Blacephalon and knock out the damaged one. Although it's really easy to circumvent if you just make sure you only have one Blacephalon down at a time. You can't always do that, but it's something that I've noticed that I have to do in all my Pikarom matchups, is never play down two GXs at the same time, because they will play around it every single time. Do we have ourselves a Blacephalon? We need to find another Naga and an energy switch if we're going to attack this turn. Otherwise, we literally just can't attack this turn. We can't Guzma either. We don't have any like switch cards. So Roche reveal first. Let's see what we can get. I mean, we have B-String. We don't mind letting something be knocked out here, but I mean, in a perfect world, right? We have Energy Switch, which if we have it, we'll use it here because we're getting Ultra Ball, which will get us Marsh out. So no Naga. So what we need is Manual Attachment, Energy Switch, and Naganadel. That's what we need in order to attack. So off of a 4-card hand, can we get that 3-card combo? We also need a Manual Attachment. Yeah, okay. So Manual Attachment, Energy Switch, Naganadel. Almost had it. We were just an energy switch short. But unfortunately, we did not have it. Yeah, there's a problem here. I'm definitely going to have to fix this camera. I do apologize, guys, that it keeps doing this. That's just so weird to me that it does that. Especially right now in this game. Apparently, it's worse than ever in this game. Do we GX here? I know we have a lot of energy surprise, so GXing doesn't seem that bad. So let's see if we can land something, and we don't. We just lose a Lily, which sucks because we need to draw a Sporter. But it's fine. Look at that. How bad is that? But it always puts it back to the center of the screen. So it's like, can I really complain? I can, because like movement like that is super unnecessary. But look at that. It's just moving. It's just dancing. And like the worst part, it's probably more noticeable only because I sped up the video to almost like 2 times the speed. Because I'm sorry to tell you this, guys, but Tony's a slow player. I'm calling you out, Tony. Also, I'm a slow player sometimes too. Sometimes I just take too long to think, and especially when I'm recording, because you guys don't understand, like recording and playing is really difficult because not only do you have to make sure you make 0 misplays because the comment section will eat your soul alive if you do, but you also have to make sure your opponent doesn't make any misplays, or else the comment section will still eat your soul and your friend's soul alive if you do. And then you also have to make sure there's no glare on the board. You have to make sure that the camera is constantly recording. You have to make sure that there's no mishaps or mistakes, or nobody is reading cards incorrectly, or there's nobody going to come in and bump the camera off the table. Yeah, we've had kids do that before. We've had to toss entire whole things because a kid was just like, oh, look, a giant stick with a phone on it, and just smack it as hard as they can. Yeah, no, it's not exactly the easiest thing to do, but I'm glad I could do it for you guys because I know you guys love this content. And I do want to definitely, like, I know I say this every time, but just because like it's much easier for me to do it with my phone, I do want to get more live games recorded with you guys. Of course, you guys are gonna have to nag some of my friends to make sure they record it with me, but I really do love recording these live deck matches. And on top of the TC Joe content, I want to record some of my actual decks with you guys. The problem is I need to purchase actual decks. I might just continue using proxies until the end of time, but we'll find out, right? Until I can get money to like purchase cards, I actually can't really go to tournaments because I don't have cards or money. So don't forget to check out the Patreon down below if you haven't already. Also the merch, we got some hot shirts. Whatever. And then the sponsors and all that good jazz. It's always really appreciated, guys. All right, let's see. Blacephalon is ready to start doing damage. Now, do we get Guzma here? Nope, we just take a knockout. I mean, that's fine, I guess. It's not ideal, but it's something. That Greninja, by the way, has free retreat. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, but it's pretty handy. Makes a nice pivot while you get the Greninja GX, ideally. Of course, he doesn't really have a way to get it right now. But he's going to use Brooklyn here. If he uses Greninja GX, he gets to just take a knockout here while continuing to set up the damage counters on the board where he needs to set them up. Of course, I can use B-String, and I have 2 Nagas down. So actually my board is looking really good. It's just a matter of can my hand keep up with it. I just have to make sure I'm always able to use draw supporters essentially and get B-Strings and stuff. But we have a Roast Reveal on the bench. We have these free retreaters that can turn into Blacephalons with B-Strings. God, this is getting ridiculous. If you guys are getting motion sick like I am, I apologize. Whew. Just don't look for a second, right? Or like look at a faraway distance. Look with black borders. I don't know. It is crazy. I can't fix it though. Like there's no way for me to actually fix this without you guys not getting games for another 5-6 days. And I want to make sure you guys get content. So I'm sorry if you guys didn't like this, but I'm having a great time. Like I love these decks for sure. Ultra Ball here gets him the Greninja. So unfortunately for me, looks like I'm getting knocked out here. And I believe he's going to shuffle the Greninja back in the deck. Obviously, B-String is alive and kicking, so it's looking pretty scary. Where's that 3 damage going? On to Naga. Looks like he really wants to chip down the Naga the most. I'll put it below, I guess put it below Marshadow's HP. That's pretty smart. Marshadow is completely worthless, while Nagadels are scary. So let's see what we can do. He's going into the Greninja. I guess he realizes it's not a great idea, so he's going to go with Froakie instead. There's Blacephalon. Show me some B-Strings, Aurabomb. That's a beast energy. Do we have B-Strings, though? We need to find B-Strings. We have Roast Reveal we can use. We have Lele we can drop. If we need to get like a real draw spore this turn. There's the Lele drop. I guess we're grabbing Cynthia here. We really want to find ourselves some B-Strings, otherwise it kind of feels pointless. So we have this. Maybe we can find a Heat Factory as well. Heat Factory and Heat Factory and Salazzle could get us +6 as far as our draws go. Although, man, Heat Factory is just one of those cards where like I find that in tournament games, it's always a nice card to find, but I gotta find it first. We have no bench space for Marsh Shadows and we whiffed. So Salazzle, have we used Salazzle yet? I don't think we have. Maybe I did and I just wasn't noticing. Ultra Ball, I guess we're Ultra Balling first just to thin the deck by 1. Yeah, just grab the Ditto, thin the deck by 1. I'm probably never gonna use that Ditto, so I can Ultra Ball that away later. Salazzle, can you hook me up with a B-String, my dude? Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Pretty annoying turn here. No energy switch either to like even take a knockout with like a knock and a Dell this turn. So just a pretty unfortunate turn altogether. If I remember correctly, this is the game where I was just like, why? Because all 4 of them were in the deck. Putting some damage on that Salandit. Once again, trying to keep that win con of Water Drip in mind. Can he? He can't. I mean, he attached the energy, but I guess he can use it to retreat if he needs to. If any of you guys have a Samsung S10 and you know why the screen is moving, by the way, let a man know in the comments, because this is getting a little bit absurd. I guess he's just gonna take a knockout on the active Naga here, just because the Naga only has 60 HP remaining, I believe. Has 130 minus 70. Yeah, 60 HP remaining, making the lowest HP Pokemon on the board. So look at all those DCEs on board. Oh, I believe, yeah, we just told, I forgot, he just attached return. So yeah, so he's gonna take a knockout. And that's pretty problematic for me. Can I find B? I still have another turn to find B-Strings, so we gotta try to find them this turn. We still have Salazzle on the board, so B-Strings are definitely an option. I guess Ditto, like, if I bench Ditto, he can technically knock it out, because he can hit 50, but I think I'm gonna play it down anyways. There's not really a point for me not to. I guess we don't have any draw supporters. That's crazy. So no B-Strings from the looks of it. And he can just... maybe, I mean, he could always knock out Marshadow too, so it's not like he's not taking a knockout. Oh yeah, we found the B-String. Oh, thank God. Okay, so we're actually able to do something, although we're attacking with Naga this turn, which is probably my better play. But like, because it keeps the Blacephalon out of the active. We did find the B-String. We even have Energy Switch and Lily and stuff. We have some stuff we can do. That gives me a couple free retreat options, so it's definitely not bad. Let's put on Lily though, because I'll probably stay on the field the longest. And yep, just take a knockout there. So Greninja's gonna come in, take a knockout on my Ditto, or not. Ditto, I don't know why he didn't do that, because Greninja has the free retreat, so there's literally no reason to not do that. Maybe he just wants to use Guzma this turn for no reason. I don't really know why he didn't go into Greninja. Literally, Greninja has free retreat. What are you doing, Tony? I have to be missing something, right? He finds the Guzma. I don't even know if he had one in his hand, but like, even if he uses Guzma, what's he gonna use Guzma for exactly? I have 3 prizes, so I can take a knockout on anything with Naganadel here. Maybe he just wants to get the Naganadel out of the active. Maybe he knows I'm running out of energy. I don't know if I'm running out of energy, but it's definitely a possibility. One heads here. Timer Ball, this game has been, or these past 3 games have been nothing but successful. Always getting at least one. As far as I remember, maybe he failed one. I was too busy going into space talking about all these decks that I really like. But yeah, I'm testing a welder version. The welder version has been pretty successful so far. It definitely gets a big burst of energies on the board whenever you land it. The problem is, like, it's not a deck that's relying on using welder. It's kind of just like, hey, you have the welder in hand. If you can use it, you should. And sometimes you won't be able to use it at all, but it's just kind of there if you need it. So he's going to use the Guzma. He's taking a knockout with... Oh, I see. That's weird. Oh, I know what he's doing. He wants to take a knockout with a low HP Pokemon that's kind of worthless, because he knows this Naga can knock out anything. I see what he's trying to do here. It's good for me because I get to evolve in the Naganadel immediately, which is like amazing for me, actually. Gonna use Ultra Space here. And fail it, I guess. Surprised. Didn't just grab, like, do I even have, maybe I just don't have any more things. That's a definite possibility. I just might not have anything else. I guess not. I know I have the Blacephalon in hand, and I only play 3 Blacephalons in this deck, so... I'm a firm believer that 3 is perfectly fine, although some people will swear by 4, and I can see why they say that, because prizing them is always a problem. I just like attacking with Naga if I need to, and obviously, and like, especially if you play Welder, you can attack with Lele's and stuff too. See, I'm debating if I want to put down that Blacephalon. If I put it, it doesn't really change anything if I do put it down, but I could always use the energy switch in my hand if I play it down as well. So maybe I should have played it down. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If he finds Aqua Patch, Greninja, Guzma, he can take a knockout on the GX and win the game. If he finds, as long as I have that Marshadow down, that Marshadow will always be a target for a knockout. So I feel like he probably should have been spreading damage onto those Marshadows just to take a knockout with like damage spread earlier in the game. That probably would have been better. But I don't know. It's hindsight, right? What he needs to win here is literally Guzma Aqua Patch. So Energy Lotto just to thin the deck from energies. Try to find that Guzma. And he also needs Greninja GX too. So let's not undersell it. He needs a lot here. And all I need to do is, I have to take 2 knockouts. So to be fair, my opponent does guarantee win the game with 2 attacks from the Dark Greninja. So all he needs to do is literally attack now and attack next turn, and he wins. Because like the lowest HP Pokemon will always be on my side of the board, so it won't count him. So I think my opponent should, as long as he lands the Greninja, he wins the game. But if he grabs something off of this Poipole, he doesn't win the game. So, all right. So all I gotta do is literally take a knockout on this active dude. I have to knock out the active too. Like I don't have a choice. Which is always problematic because all he needs, I know he has the water energy in hand. So if he finds like the water, if he finds the Greninja GX, and I attack with my Blacephalon, which I have to do here, then I just lose. Dude, I literally feel like I'm on a cruise ship watching a game. This is absurd. I'm so annoyed. And I had no idea. There was no way for me to know that this was going to happen. This is the worst part too. So unfortunately, I lose to Greninja GX or I lose to regular Greninja. I just have to hope that he doesn't find any of the ball piece cards. So maybe I can try to find Marshadow here and disrupt him as much as I can. But he only has 3 cards in his hand, so I don't really know what to say about this. See what we can do. Because he find it, he can attach water for sure, and now he has 2 outs. Any of the 2 Greninjas. Benching this dude, he shouldn't bench anything here, but he did. That's bad. See, if he didn't bench anything, he won with the dark type Greninja. Maybe he just doesn't have any more and he knows that. But there's Greninja GX. We know he has the water one in the deck. But if he has no more dark ones, I guess that's one thing, right? But if he had the dark one, he just took a knockout on any of the Naganadels and won the game. So definitely benching that Coco. I guess he wants to thin his deck to try to find the water type Greninja with like timer balls or something like that. And there's the Ultra Ball for game. So I guess he still wins anyways. Thanks to weakness. But did he have the dark one in deck? I don't see it. So I guess that's what he was going for. He knew he didn't have the dark one in deck. So he knew his one game plan was to win with the water type Greninja. So once again, weakness prevails. Anyways, I do apologize about the awkward waviness. God, that must have been really annoying. It annoyed the heck out of me. The heckin' heck out of me. Anyways, check out the sponsors at Guardian Gaming. Answer all those comments with the questions. Question of the day is to leave below. Who knows? This might be the video where the comments and the questions will win not only some codes from Unbroken Bond, thanks to our sponsors, but also a booster box. I'm just saying, leave a like and leaving a comment might win you a box. Might be in this video, might be in a future video, could be in literally any of the past videos I've uploaded this entire month. Like I did last time, I might just have to do that again. We'll have to see. Anyways, yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about anything, and I'll see you. Oh, and if you guys know the reasoning behind all that wishy-washiness, no pun intended, let me know, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a deck profile. Peace.